At a concert, my girlfriend climbed on her male best friend's shoulders while laughing. "You're taller, way better than my boyfriend." The crowd cheered. I just left. The next morning she realized she'd lost more than just me. I, Brecken, 29, a software development manager, had been with Lyra, 28, a social media marketer for 3 years. We lived in Austin, Texas. It was a city I appreciated for its tech scene, but Lyra only cared about its social and entertainment options. Our combined income was very good, but Lyra's focus on trendy living made financial security difficult. I made about $190,000, and Lyra made about $100,000. We rented a modern house in the Clarksville neighborhood. Our life was defined by social media, performance, and constant entertainment. We often ate at expensive, concept restaurants like Olame. Our social circle was large, consisting mostly of Lyra's volatile, image-conscious friends and her huge circle of male admirers. They constantly validated her belief that life should be one continuous party. I felt increasingly like a sponsor. I wanted to start my own specialized AI firm. Lyra wanted me to remain a stable, high-income manager to fund her ambitious social life. My career was excellent, but I felt stifled by the corporate structure. I was managing complex software products, but I wanted to move into pure entrepreneurship, leading my own team focused on cutting-edge AI logistics. I was quietly researching and preparing for a major leap. Lyra was openly dismissive of my plans. She often called my entrepreneurial dreams a stressful way to lose money, and implied my coding was boring, basement work. She saw my salary as merely a resource for our expensive social consumption. The opportunity that presented itself was a true professional zenith. It was with a massive, international venture capital firm known for launching tech giants. They offered me an executive role specifically to head a new AI accelerator program. The role was Director of AI Incubation, Asia Pacific. The location was Taipei, Taiwan. This was a huge global move, placing me at the intellectual and financial forefront of the startup world. The compensation package was exceptional. The base salary was $450,000 annually. They included an immediate, substantial seed funding grant of $125,000 for the accelerator program, which I controlled. The benefits included fully furnished, luxury executive housing, generous tax allowances, and a guaranteed annual performance bonus of 50% based on portfolio success. This was the opportunity that offered absolute financial and entrepreneurial freedom. I decided to present the offer to Lyra over dinner at a new, trendy restaurant she loved. I was extremely proud of the achievement. I thought the sheer scale of the title and the venture capital firm's reputation would finally impress her. "Lyra, this is it. I got the offer. It's the one I've been building toward. It's a career changer," I said, handing her the sleek digital folder. She briefly looked up from her phone, her expression already skeptical. "Another job, Brecken? Is this one less about the computer screen and more about a real life?" She asked dismissively. "It's Director of AI Incubation, Asia Pacific, with one of the largest VC firms in the world. The location is Taipei, Taiwan." As she scanned the salary figure, her eyes widened at the $450,000 but quickly narrowed again. "Taiwan? Seriously, Brecken? That's 12 hours of flight time. I can't market major US brands from Taiwan. My entire following is here. My friends are here. My entire social life is here. I have a whole career built in Austin. This job gives me control of a $125,000 fund. You could focus on social media consulting for Asian startups. This is global-level acceleration. We could retire completely debt-free in a decade. Retire early and be miserable. My life is here. My status is here. You expect me to throw away my community and my brand for a tech fantasy. You are so typical, Brecken. You only care about the complexity of your little AI projects. Just say no. I'm not going." She pushed the folder away. Her contempt was clear. She implied my ambition was a fault, a sign of my social inadequacy. I was merely a convenient resource to fund her current, comfortable, and self-serving life. The conflict was not just about the job, it was about her complete lack of respect for my intellect and purpose. Update 1. I did not say no. I accepted the offer the next morning. I immediately finalized the contract details, securing the substantial funding and executive housing allowance. I would not allow her disdain and self-serving comfort to derail my future. My planning began that same afternoon. It was executed with complete, rational secrecy. The following weeks were marked by Lyra's passive aggression. I tried several times to restart the discussion about the move, hoping for a final chance at partnership. The firm is setting up the luxury housing. We should discuss moving plans and what belongings we want to ship to Taipei. I suggested one evening. We are not shipping anything, Brecken. I already told you. I have my life here. Stop pushing me. I need a partner who supports my life, not a corporate robot trying to force me to leave. She replied quickly. This is a global director role with a major VC firm. It's a huge opportunity. It's a nerdy opportunity in a remote location. My friends agree. Stop calling it an opportunity. Call it what it is, your obsession. We are not moving. End of discussion. She repeated the dismissive lines often. They were designed to minimize my success and reinforce her control. Her friends quickly picked up the narrative. We were at a large social gathering. Grant, a mutual friend and one of Lyra's constant admirers, approached me. So, Brecken, I hear you're still talking about ditching the Austin scene for a corporate job in Asia. What's up with that? Lyra is right, man. You can't just ditch your fun life for a fancy title. Grant asked, with a condescending smirk. It's a director role, controlling a significant investment fund. It's a path to financial freedom for both of us. I explained calmly. Financial freedom. You already have the perfect life. Lyra has a great scene here. Everyone thinks you should listen to her. You're being selfish. You need to prioritize the relationship over the complexity of your data models. I prioritize a life of immense purpose and wealth. That's better than endless social consumption and debt. I replied, excusing myself. Their collective judgment only strengthened my resolve. They were all addicted to the same shallow, image-driven life. I realized I was planning an escape. My preparations became meticulous and silent. First, I secured my finances. I established a new private wealth account with the venture capital firm's private bank. Lyra had no access to this institution. I changed my direct deposit information. My entire check, including the $125,000 seed funding that I controlled, was routed to the new account. I left only a small, fixed amount flowing into our shared accounts for bills. Lyra was not detail-oriented. She would not notice the change immediately. I created a precise spreadsheet detailing all shared assets and liabilities. They were minimal. Next, I focused on the move. I spent my weekends secretly researching and virtually touring apartments in Taipei. I found a superb, high-rise unit in the Xinyi district. It was close to my future office and had stunning city views. I secured a long-term lease entirely in my name. The company's relocation team handled the logistics. I used my vacation days for a quick, final trip to Taipei. I finalized the lease and handled the critical paperwork. Lyra thought I was on a mandatory industry conference in Miami. I started sorting through my belongings. My technical books, my specialized coding equipment, and all my personal documents were boxed up. I used a highly discreet international shipping service. I told Lyra I was sending old computer equipment to a colleague overseas. She barely glanced at the boxes. She was too busy planning a massive weekend concert outing with her friends. I began liquidating small, personal investments. I converted the funds into US dollars and transferred them to my new account. I was creating a robust, personal financial shield. I had my documents translated and notarized. I secured a new international driver's license. Every small detail was a deliberate step toward total independence. My focus at work was absolute. I finished my projects flawlessly. I received a stellar recommendation from my current firm. I timed my departure perfectly. It was scheduled for 2 days after the major concert Lyra had been planning for months. The concert was an EDM festival downtown. We were with a huge group of Lyra's friends, including Grant. The energy was massive. Lyra was drinking heavily and dancing wildly. She kept insisting I take photos of her for social media. Halfway through the main set, she turned to Grant. He was significantly taller than me. She suddenly climbed onto Grant's shoulders. He hoisted her up easily. She was laughing, pointing at the crowd, and then she turned directly to me. "You're taller, Grant. Way better than my boyfriend," she shouted, loud enough for the people around us to cheer and laugh. The crowd cheered. The group laughed. I just stood there. The public humiliation and the casual contempt were complete. I had seen enough. I did not say a word. I simply turned and walked out of the venue. I drove home. I finished packing my final bag. The next morning, she woke up to a life that was already over. She would realize she'd lost more than just me. She'd lost her entire, comfortable future. Update 2. Lyra's return home from the concert was a muted affair. She was hungover and confused about why I had left the venue. I was calm. I was gone. I had already flown to Taipei using a separate itinerary. I left her a final, brief letter with the separation papers on the counter. The letter was factual. It stated that the relationship was terminated due to her sustained contempt and her public humiliation of me. It stated my new role as director of AI incubation in Taipei. It provided my lawyer's contact information, outlining the division of minimal joint assets and the cancellation of the lease. When she finally contacted my lawyer, the reality set in. I was gone. My executive life had begun without her. Her immediate reaction was a furious explosion of anger. She sent me aggressive, long emails via an old address.
"You coward!
You are running away because you can't handle a joke.
I will expose you!"
You are emotionally abusive and weak, she wrote. You're pathetic. You threw away 3 years over a silly concert joke. Come back and face me. Another demanded. I allowed my lawyer to reply once, confirming the finality of the decision, citing her public mockery as a definitive breach of trust. The lawyer added that all further communication must go through his office. Then came desperate bargaining. She shifted to long, apologetic texts. She promised to quit her job and find a remote role. She offered to fly to Taipei immediately. She swore she would be a supportive partner. I ignored them all. This was followed by a period of performative depression. I heard through mutual friends that she was posting cryptic, heartbroken messages online. She claimed I was mentally unstable and had abandoned her for a strange, temporary job. She sought massive public sympathy. Finally, the spike of pure anger returned. She hired a lawyer. She threatened asset claims for my entire signing bonus. My lawyer, preemptively armed with my financial documentation, quickly established that all my new assets, the salary, the controlled funding, the housing allowance, were acquired post-separation and were legally separate. The legal threats faded quickly. There was nothing for her to claim. My moving day was quiet. I was already working in Taipei. I had hired a logistics company to pack and ship my remaining personal effects. Lyra was reportedly staying with her best friend, Grant. I felt a profound sense of closure. My new life in Taipei was a constant, exhilarating challenge. The city was dynamic, technologically advanced, and relentlessly ambitious. My job as director of AI incubation was high stakes. I was leading a fund that was launching several new companies. I felt respected for my intellectual and financial acumen. I started thriving immediately. I joined a high-end cycling club and began exploring the beautiful mountains around the city. I made professional friends who respected my business drive. My work success was immense. Within 9 months, 2 of my incubated companies secured major Series A funding. The VC firm was ecstatic. I received the massive 50% annual performance bonus. It was for $225,000, entirely tax-advantaged. I used the funds, combined with my savings, to make an all-cash purchase of a superb, high-rise apartment in the Dane district. It was a secure, tangible asset. The lies Lyra had been spreading back home began to crumble. She was telling everyone that I took a low-paying, insignificant job. She claimed I was just a remote worker struggling with the language. Brecken, what is going on? Lyra is saying you're teaching basic computer skills in Taiwan. She says you're miserable. A distant relative texted. She told us you're just a temporary project manager in a tiny office. A mutual friend added. I ignored most of them. I was polite only to her parents, who seemed genuinely confused. Brecken, is it true you're struggling? Can we help? Lyra's father asked on the phone. I'm doing very well, sir. I'm the director of AI incubation. My salary is over $450,000. I am launching successful companies. I am thriving. I decided to stop the lies permanently. I made a formal post on LinkedIn. The post was professional. I celebrated the success of my portfolio companies, funding rounds. I included a picture of myself standing with the venture capital firm's executive board in Taipei. My director of AI incubation, Asia Pacific title was front and center. The sheer scale of my success, my salary, and the firm's prestige were now public. The reaction was explosive. My old professional network was incredibly impressed. Her social network was stunned. The flood of emails and texts began immediately. Director of AI incubation, Brecken, Lyra told us you were unemployed. I'm so sorry we believed her. An old colleague wrote. I apologize, Brecken. We all believed her. She painted you as a sensitive, desperate failure. You look incredible, Grant texted sheepishly. Her family also reached out. They acknowledged that Lyra's version of events was false. They validated my decision. 4 months after the LinkedIn post, she showed up in Taipei. I was leaving my apartment building. A taxi pulled up to the curb. Lyra stepped out. She looked glamorous, but the confidence was gone. Brecken, I flew all this way. I had to see you, director of AI incubation. I had no idea. The apartment is stunning, she said, rushing toward me. You didn't know because you didn't want to know. You actively chose to believe I was a failure to justify your contempt. I replied. I kept a clear, physical distance. I've changed, Brecken. I saw my mistake. I'm ready to move in. I can find a job here. I'll support you completely. I want this life with you. You want this life. You don't want me. Do you remember what you shouted at the concert? That Grant was way better than your boyfriend. Do you remember calling my work boring, basement work? You posted about your heartbroken victimhood all over social media. That was the real you, Lyra. I was drunk, Brecken. I was reacting to the move. I swear, I'm a different person now. I value what you built. You value what I built because it is now successful and financially immense. Your character has not changed. Only the size of my portfolio has. The answer is no. You are not moving in. I rejected her firmly. I explained the separation papers were already finalized. She escalated immediately. Her lawyer sent multiple letters demanding a share of my Taipei property. She claimed our long-term partnership should apply. She demanded a stake in my controlled funding and my performance bonus. All claims were shut down logically by my lawyer. He used the clear documentation of my separate accounts and the post-separation acquisition dates. Her legal action was dismissed. Her final move was a desperate social media campaign. She posted long, emotional stories on Instagram. She accused me of financial cruelty and abandonment. The campaign completely backfired. Mutual friends called her out for her history of lies. Even her allies turned against her. 1 year later, I was thriving fully. My career was at an all-time high. I had purchased a small investment condo in Kuala Lumpur. My salary was higher due to a contract renegotiation. I was in a stable, respectful relationship with Jing, a brilliant fintech consultant. Our relationship was based on shared intellect and mutual ambition. I received one final, short message from Lyra. It was a direct message on an older platform. I made a huge mistake, Brecken. I truly regret treating you like I did. I am sorry. My reply was polite but short. It was the only thing required for closure. I accept your apology, Lyra. I wish you well. Final update. I was back in the United States for a brief visit, giving a keynote address at a major technology conference in San Francisco. My profile was very high. I received a text from Lyra's mother, Mrs. Harmon. She asked if I could meet her and Lyra's father, Mr. Harmon, for a quick conversation. I agreed to meet them at a quiet business lounge. I respected them greatly. They were already seated when I arrived. They looked visibly older and subdued. They were immediately apologetic. Brecken, we wanted to see you. We needed to say this in person. We are profoundly sorry. We were wrong. We should have supported your ambition, Mr. Harmon said, his voice quiet. You don't have to apologize for Lyra, sir. I've moved on. I'm happy now, I replied. It's not just for her. It's for us, Mrs. Harmon interrupted softly. We raised her to believe that constant attention and social approval were the ultimate goals. We taught her to dismiss anything that was quiet, intellectual, or internationally focused. We encouraged her belief that her local life was superior. You built something extraordinary, Brecken, and she threw it away because she was too shallow to respect your intellect. Mr. Harmon nodded slowly. She lost everything because of her arrogance and her need to perform for a crowd. She's learned the hard way that a partner who values your mind is more important than a crowd that cheers your humiliation. We just wanted you to know that we finally understand. You are an exceptional man. We are sorry we didn't treat you like one. Their apology was sincere and heavy with genuine regret. It was the final validation of my entire journey. It confirmed that the values I was ridiculed for, my quiet focus, my technical ambition, my logical decision-making, were correct. I accepted their apology gracefully. I told them I held no bitterness. I wished them the best for Lyra's future. I walked away from the meeting feeling a deep, quiet sense of peace. My life now is a testament to the core lesson of this entire experience. Never tolerate a partner who publicly belittles your core value. Lyra's betrayal and mockery were rooted in her own insecurity and her desperate need for external validation. She wanted me to remain her comfortable, invisible resource. She tried to keep me small through ridicule and public humiliation. I learned that the only way to overcome this kind of contempt is through decisive, quiet action. I did not waste my energy arguing. I did not try to convince her. I simply built a life so grand, so professionally significant, that her realization of her error would be the ultimate consequence of my success. My tone remains rational and steady because I know the truth. I did not allow emotion to rule my decisions. I simply focused my energy on my own potential. I found a partner, Jing, who shares my values and respects my drive. We are committed to a future of shared, meaningful growth. My career is booming. I am happy. I am secure. I am fulfilled. I built this life. I earned this life.